soulmate.
They dream. Not many have jail for drugging and mugging. Pop at the fucking wage for 10 years. Don't mean you're free.
Join me on this special edition of Tazzy TV. R&B singer Monica has a new song called Letters.
Locked down, I ain't found nobody else to fit in for a real one like you. Writing you this letter, soulmate. Writing you just that you could hold me. A cheat and a friend even took care of my family. I will stay by your side or die. You're rich or poor, I'm doing fine. For such a thing that I would forget to see that I was on. Your girl, your life, your friends, they just don't say I should leave. Say that they all should just leave. Don't you get it? Why I never left you, and why I kept, and why I'm still with you.
A fan wrote to finally realize that she was singing this for C Murder, give it a whole nother sound. Here's a picture of Monica and C Murder. C Murder's doing a life bid in Angola. Monica had Kim K fight for his appeal. It was denied. P. Solomon wrote, Monica's song remind me of my situation. I got sentenced to 4 years. I told my man to move on. He did my whole bid with me. We're still together. Brother wrote, my fiance played this song for me last year after I came home from 9 years. We locked in forever.
Not many have jail for drugging and mugging. Pop at the fucking wage for 10 years. Don't mean you're free. No, my true motherfucking nigga feel this shit's real. I wish my brother would have realized the game was wicked. Realize the game was wicked. Shit. Can't even trust the niggas that I used to. Can't even trust the niggas that I used to. Can't even trust the niggas that I used to hang with. Remember what my brother told a real bitch. If you shoot first, bitch, you better make sure you hit over chopping keys on the 100 G's with my niggas. Can't you fast bitches what I live for? I caught a fucking fool.
From the cradle to the grave, some youngsters on the street get paid. From the cradle, some youngsters on the street running up in the project with killers and G's. Third wall, Kelly.
Authorities in Chicago charged with misconduct with migrants. Authorities say this is nonsense. There's no evidence. The allegations are only brought up against them because of the Victim Care Act, which allows immigrants to get free green cards and citizenship if they've been a victim in the United
Tanya and
States.
Terrell, sources are telling us that multiple officers are being accused, and we know 2 investigations are underway. Meanwhile, there are calls to move migrants from the 10th Police District Station here in the wake of the allegations. Sources are confirming that more than one CPD officer is being accused of having sexual interactions with female migrants. The incidents allegedly taking police station in North Lawndale. According to the Chicago Sun-Times, one of the officers has been accused of impregnating a teenage girl.
Right now, everything is just pure speculation and allegations, but just to keep the investigation safe and, you know, maybe right now, some of them may be fearful if they really know what's going on. I just think that it will be safe to probably have them
Chicago
moved.
police officers remain under investigation, accused of having sex with migrants housed at a West Side police station.
It's horrifying. It's disgusting.
It's how Alderman Andre Vasquez of the 40th Ward and chair of the newly established Committee on Immigrant and Refugee Rights is describing the allegations. A teenage migrant is now pregnant as a result of one of these alleged encounters. Claims that the department was accused of denying hundreds of undocumented immigrants a chance to apply for a special visa designed for crime victims. Posted on YouTube.
There is no validity to the complaint. There is no basis or origin on where it originated from. We don't have a victim's name.
Video shows officers shooting woman who fired a gun at a Dallas airport. Before the woman pulled a gun, she told bystanders she had an announcement to make. The Dallas police chief says she spoke about a marriage, incarceration, and blowing up the airport before pulling out the gun. The suspect underwent surgery and will face charges. 8-year-old Michelle Nance was buried alive under 200 pounds of concrete at a construction site.
That's what they're today.
Matthews said, I just saw a finger.
Kind of like lost hope. I just got
Michelle Nance relives her nightmare.
The idea to like fake my...
A man who was reported missing has come forward with claims of being held hostage and assaulted by his mother.
Details about the 8 years Rudy Farias spent with the world believing he'd disappeared. In fact, this is our first look at the 25-year-old man. His mother says he disappeared when he was 17.
Today, Rudy telling investigators that he was home with his mother the entire time and that she subjected him to substantial amounts of abuse. ABC 13's Brooke Taylor broke this story and has his disturbing version of what happened. Brooke?
Yeah, Erica, and Eric, activist Quanell X has been inside of this hotel. He has had communication with Rudy all day long and tells me for the last 8 years, Rudy told him he has been sexually abused and heavily drugged by his own mother. Now, Quanell X, Rudy and his mother were inside of this hotel where we're at in Humble for hours today. They have since left, but Quanell says he was called here by the family. That's how he got involved. He stayed by Rudy Farias' side. He kept his head under a towel and says Quanell told us this was really one of the worst cases he has ever heard. He kept getting emotional with us and telling us he kept having to walk out of the room because he didn't want Rudy to see him crying. Now, Quanell tells us that Rudy told him back in 2015 he did run away, but he returned 2 days later and told Quanell that his mom threatened him that he would get in trouble if he ever said anything. Police, she would tell him, would not be happy about this, so he was afraid about what the police would say. For the last 8 years, Quanell says Rudy told him he was not allowed to leave that house until recently, and his mom would sexually abuse him. Then just recently, he was allowed to leave the house. He would go to work with his mom. Quanell told us she worked a security job, he says, and he'd also be allowed to talk to neighbors. We spoke to some of those neighbors yesterday, and Quanell says the only reason why he was allowed to do that was the mom figured enough time had passed that no one would know who he was and that he was a missing person. And I did ask, why did Rudy just not leave the house? He's 25 years old, and Quanell X told me that Rudy told him the reasoning for this is because his mother would give him a lot of drugs, and again, he was just afraid to go to the police. A few weeks ago, though, he told Quanell X that he had enough of this. He wanted his mom to respect his boundaries, so he told him he took her credit card and ran off before police found him at a church in Magnolia Park on Thursday. And back in 2018, police told us that a family member did call them because we asked police, did they ever go out and check the house? What did they hear about any sightings of Rudy? And they told us in 2018 that family member called them that Rudy was living outside of a house, but police tell us they never found anyone. Now, Quanell says that Rudy told him his mother made him hide inside anytime investigators would go there. He told me, Quanell X, that he felt police had failed this young man who he says pretty much has just flown under the radar while he says his mom has been abusing him.
No child should ever be treated like that by your own mother. We asked him, why did you run away? And he said he just got tired of her not respecting his boundaries. And she said that he wanted his own life. And his exact word was, I was tired of living like a slave.
And Rudy's mother was inside of this hotel. She was going in and out of the room talking to investigators, and I had a chance to ask her a few questions. She did walk away and did not want to be seen on camera.
Jeannie, what do you have to say to neighbors who say that they've seen your son?
I tried to talk to her several times to ask her about these claims, but again, she did not want to go on camera or answer any of our questions there. I've been in touch with her, though, throughout the week, and she has maintained on the phone with me many times that she says she hasn't seen her son in years, claiming he was abused and beaten, and she said someone had kidnapped him. As for whether she faces any charges, we're still waiting on that from HPD.
Some women choose to go to fertility doctors for sperm donors. This doctor decided he would secretly be the donor for his patients.
They feel violated by the fertility doctor.
If you want to see more, I'll be putting the links in the description below. Just type the word more in the YouTube button. Subscribe.
They feel violated by the fertility doctor.
Trust it.
I do feel violated.